Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining Create with Dee. Today I am live, but I'm recording here today. But I'm going to launch it at our normal time at 10 o'clock. I am en route, however you want to say it, to Houston, where a bunch of us Stampin' Up! Demonstrators are going to be having a great week of on stage at Stampin' Up's convention. And so I've got a pretty quick video class here for us today. And then next week, I'll show you the pillow gifts that I'm really excited about. Well, today I am going to be using the Thoughtful Expressions bundle that's in the current mini catalog. And it's one that we used at Club, not in March, but in February, and made a bunch of really beautiful cards with that. But I'm going to show how that you can make this if you need a great Sympathy stamp set. This is really beautiful and pretty. And the class is also going to show how you don't really need a lot of materials to make a beautiful card. So just kind of basically a 3-color basic white, and then 2 other colors that you want to use to complement. In my case, I'm going to be using Bubble Bath, and I'm going to be using Smoky Slate to create this card. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera around, and we'll get started making this class. If you follow me at all, you know that I'm a little obsessed, oops, these shifted on me, with the die set that comes along with the Thoughtful Expressions bundle. It has these really pretty stitched shapes here. So this rectangle one that I'm going to use here today is great for labeling. Well, all of them are great for labeling and layering. So I'm going to be using that. And then if you've ever lost somebody close to you, which I know we all have, I think that these are some of the best sympathy words that I have found. They're really striking a chord in my heart this week. I lost a good friend. And, you know, it really is that you're in my thoughts, and sometimes there's no words. And so that's the 2 combinations that I'm going to use on this card here today. So again, it's a way of making, I just really wanted to show that as you get started with card making, or maybe you've been an avid card maker like myself for years, if not decades, that you can always start out with, like, it doesn't have to be so over the top each time with lots and lots of different products. So again, I'm kind of focusing on maybe somebody that is just getting started with having their cut and emboss machine. So you might have a few, a few embossing folders, or you're not quite sure what to use your embossing folders with. So here's how this card's going to go. So we're going to take a piece of our Bubble Bath. This is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half and get my bone folder and get a nice crisp edge. So we're going to start with that. And you can either do this card with or without this embossing layer, but we're going to have a piece of basic white cut at 4 by 5.25. And if you want, you can run it through an embossing folder. I have ahead of time, I ran it through this embossing folder. This is the Time Warm type. I really like the texture on that. And just that, it's like, it looks like, if you look really close, it has some like old typewriter characters on it, but it really doesn't ever say anything, but it just presents a nice background interest on it. So I'm going to take my liquid glue, and let's go ahead and we'll put that layer on the front. Again, if you're just getting started and you don't have an embossing folder, that's okay. Just use your white layer that you'd like to have, or the white layer without it being embossed. And I'm just going to kind of be real while we're sitting here putting this card together. I had a friend of, I guess I counted up 52 years. She was a friend way back from, first grade. Unexpectedly passed yesterday, and I'm just a little bit out of sorts with a little bit with the shock on it, but I'm kind of honoring my friend Anne with this card here. If my voice breaks a little bit in doing so, it's just because I'm really thinking of her with it. Okay, so we've got our card base here. All right, so now ahead of time, what I've done is I've taken this smoky slate and I stamped it onto the bubble bath. So while I've added another color in it, as you can see, I'm not adding another cardstock. The cardstock is just two colors, our basic, one of the basic colors of basic white, and then a secondary color, in this case, bubble bath. So I took the ink and stamped and die cut that out. And that is one of the images on the thoughtful expressions. And so I did that on, and then used the dies to die cut that out. You could also, if you didn't have the dies, you could probably very easily fussy cut around it for the most part. So I've die cut the two floral images. And so again, the two inks, I'm using bubble bath. So I'm going to take the bubble bath. I'm going to do a little stamping on the inside of the card. I'm going to have my card go horizontal. And so I'm going to take my bubble bath ink and I'm going to stamp this floral image here down in the corner. And then I'm going to take my envelope and do a little stamping on that too. So again, pick up that same floral image that's going to be the focal point, the focal florals on the card front, and we'll decorate that. Okay, so now on the inside of the card, I'm going to put, sometimes there are no words, and let me get the sentiment for that. And for that, I'm going to introduce our second color, the smoky slate. So gray and pink, I think always go well together. So we'll do that. Sometimes there are no words. I'm going to put that right in the middle. And now I can put that on the inside of our card base. And we'll do that. And we'll have that in there. So pretty. We're going to decorate it up with some bling here in just a little bit. From my sample, I decided, for the one that we're going to do here, I decided to step down the sizes from the stitched label shape that's in there, and just to kind of compare and contrast a little bit. So on the basic white label, I'm going to stamp the "You're in my thoughts today." And get that stamped. Oops. Got a little too much pressure on that. There we go. And I'm going to just do a single layer on the sample here. And we'll get that layered up with adding some glue on it. Isn't that a good, I love these dies. Look how pretty those labels are. Okay, so go ahead and get that, and I'll get my Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, on this one, I'm going to try different layering heights from what my sample was, just to give us a couple of different options. So I'm going to go ahead and put this right in the center. You're in my thoughts today. And then I've got the two floral images that I stamped with our smoky slate, and then die cut out with the Thoughtful Expressions dies. And we'll get this. Whoops. let's see here. Let's kind of play around with the positioning a little bit. So pretty. And I'm going to add a little bling to it. So I've got my the adhesive back sequence trios, and I'm going to be using the pink tone and the clear on our card here today. So on the pinks, I'm going to find the center of our flowers, and we'll put some of our embellishments there. I'm going to open up the card, and I'm going to put a sequence on either side, and then put one on the inside of that too. So then that's how the inside's sparkly. And then I'm going to add a little more bling to our card front. Let's see here. Actually, I'm going to go this way, like how I did it on my on my sample card. And get some of the clear. And as you've been hearing me say, it's like, you know what, we have these embellishments and, you know, they're made to be used. Let's go ahead and put them on our cards and projects and just make some beautiful things. So, so here's a card, again, that's made with really just two ink, well, not really, but with two ink colors, with our gray tone of Smoky Slate and then the matching cardstock color of Bubble Bath. But we just use two colors of cardstock. So again, it's a card that you can kind of get a launching point on if either you just want to do, it's really not like monochromatic, but it's pretty close to it to make a beautiful card. And I kind of like, I really like the one with the smaller labels, don't you guys? All right, let me turn the camera around. I'm actually pretty proud of myself that I got through that without tearing up thinking of my Annie here today. But I will be back on next week, and I'm going to be sharing the pillow gifts that I made my roomies at On Stage. I've got some really cute ones that would be great for spring craft fair, spring, you know, in time for either Easter, Mother's Day, and then and also how you can transition it maybe into Father's Day or masculine birthdays too. So stay tuned for next week. All right, everybody, you have a great week and happy crafting. Bye-bye.